Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Walt here from Down the Block Sports, and today I want to talk about Major League Baseball. The Los Angeles Angels, these professional teams starving for starting pitching, finally made a big free agent signing. Yes, not a big long-term contract, but they brought in an arm that can hopefully help their rotation. The Los Angeles Angels and starting pitcher Noah Syndergaard agreed to a one-year, $21 million contract. The Mets gave him a qualifying offer, so the Angels are going to have to surrender a second round pick to receive Syndergaard. So, again, this team who was desperate had the worst starting rotation in the league. Their GM went out public and said, I am going to do whatever I can to add pitching to this organization. And his first major move was signing Noah Syndergaard. Now, Syndergaard isn't the healthiest starter as he didn't pitch much. He only pitched really at the end of the 2021 season where he threw really one-inning outings where he didn't throw a breaking ball. Now, in those outings, he had an average fastball velocity that was down only 3 miles per hour from his 2017 peak. So there's a chance through a smart pitching plan here in the offseason, still continuing to rehab his injury, he can hopefully get those numbers up to be a productive starting pitcher for the Angels. Now, the Angels starting pitching is a mess. It's not really any surprise to us that this is what we're talking about. Mike Trout seemed like has needed a starting pitcher pretty much his entire career. Now they have Anthony Rendon and Shohei Ohtani in the lineup. Ohtani can also pitch, but they have a deep lineup, but really don't have much to help them in the other aspect of the game. Shohei Ohtani, who's a two-way player, led the Angels with 130 and one-third innings pitched last year, and no other Angels pitcher exceeded 100 innings. Now, you might like to think that, okay, if that's the case, maybe the Angels should get more guys you can rely on for innings because Noah Syndergaard doesn't exactly do that because of his injury history. You don't know exactly how many innings he's going to pitch for the Angels next season. But when you looked at the Syndergaard market, the other teams included were the Mets, the Blue Jays, the Yankees. And when you look at those other teams, I mean, the Blue Jays just paid Jose Barrios, so giving Syndergaard $21 million after giving and also needing to sign Marcus Semien, it just didn't seem like that was too smart of an option. Yankees, same thing. They have a massive pitching contract already on their team, and they have a lineup and a bullpen and a rotation, a few other things that they need to clean up, and wasn't really successful last year when they paid for injured starting pitching. The Angels, though, on the other hand, don't really have as strong as a background when going after pitchers who have an injury history. Now, Perry Manassian was asked the question on MLB Network Radio about scouting the injured pitching, and he did mention how the importance of the medical staff, and he was there, or the Angels were there to scout Syndergaard as he was pitching those one-inning outings last season. So hopefully they have some sort of background to prove why Syndergaard is a good move here. But here's why I trust the Angels, which I don't really say very often, but I do. Last year, they were given a ridiculously tough task, and I think Joe Maddon absolutely nailed it. Nailed it. It was managing Shohei Ohtani because his bat is 100% real, but they were a team that had to manage having his bat in and out of the lineup so he could be an impact player on the mound. Now, many people question how many innings is Shohei Ohtani going to pitch in a full season, knowing he also needs to make an impact in the lineup. Getting to 130 and one-thirds innings while having that elite bat in the lineup was great. I mean, they got the impact on the mound. They were also able to receive that impact in the lineup. So when you look at managing Syndergaard for 162 game regular season after being injured, you need to have a plan. You need to have someone that can evaluate. And I feel like after watching Joe Maddon manage Shohei Ohtani last year, I feel like that's a good situation because he's with a manager who has the experience to get a staff through a 162 game season. Now, do I expect Syndergaard next year to go out and throw 7 shutdown innings every time he's on the mound? I think that'd be irresponsible of me to say that was the expectation. I think the Angels would be thrilled to get through 5, personally, And for $21 million, they're so desperate in the rotation that adding someone who can make that impact just to get them deeper into games is something that they need. And maybe they could stretch his arm out by the end of the season to do something a little bit more legitimate. I don't know. They have a lot of work they need to do here with Syndergaard. But with this deal comes a massive risk. The injury history is 100% real. And if you're the Angels, you need to make sure you have other arms in this organization, because if he does hopefully not go down this season, they need better arms in this rotation than Patrick Sandoval and Jose Suarez and other guys like that to get them through the 2021 season. But the real question here is, did the Angels make the right move doing this deal? And when you looked at how it was going to take to get him, losing a second round pick after drafting 20 pitchers last year on a team that has to win right now, to me, isn't that big of a deal. Mike Trout deserves as much help as he can get to win at least a playoff game, which he still has not done yet in his career. Now he gets Syndergaard for one season. When Syndergaard is healthy, he is a dominant starting pitcher. The only problem is he has not been able to prove to stay healthy for an entire season. So there's a lot of pressure here on Perry Minasian. And I do think the Angels truly aren't done yet, but they need starting pitcher. He's a starting pitcher. They need top-level quality pitcher. He used to be that before the injury, but of course that's something they're going to have to deal with. They need a smart manager with a smart pitching plan and trusts his eyes. Joe Maddon is one of the smarter managers, creative managers in all of Major League Baseball. You just haven't been able to see it since he got to the Angels outside of Ohtani, because their pitching has been so bad they haven't won any games. The pressure's high in LA this year. Maddon needs to win. Ohtani needs to win. Trout needs to win. And when you look at Noah Syndergaard, if he can stay healthy, that gets them a little bit closer to their goal in the American League West, because the division this year in the West is a lot easier. Because if the Houston Astros lose Carlos Correa, they're not going to be nearly as good either defensively or in the lineup. You know, the Oakland Athletics just lost Bob Melvin. So when you look at the Oakland Athletics for next year, what makes you believe that Matt Chapman and Matt Olson and other players like that aren't on the trade block? The Mariners have a chance to possibly move their way up, which would be first place. They have to make some moves here. But if all these other teams are back and the Mariners make some huge splash, they have a chance here to do some damage. But here sits the LA Angels, who are a starting pitcher or two, in my opinion, still after getting Syndergaard, from making things interesting here in the National League West. So we owe it to Mike Trout to get him some pitching. And good job by Perry Minasian for getting him Noah Syndergaard. I hope he can stay healthy. I hope we see Trout in the playoffs. There's a huge risk involved with this signing. But in an offseason where the Angels needed to get pitching, lost out on Eduardo Rodriguez, they also lost their second-round pick, but they're getting Noah Syndergaard, who has the upside to fill a spot in the top of the rotation. God, I hope Joe Maddon can figure this season out for him. But Ohtani and Syndergaard are currently two of the top arms in the Angels rotation. What do you believe of the Noah Syndergaard signing? How do you think he's going to fit with the Los Angeles Angels? Feel free to comment that below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Down the Block Sports for more of my exclusive content. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you very soon.